Hello and welcome to Athlete First Media. Today I am joined by WA star and Maine commit, great baseball player, Kobe Mulholland. Kobe, thank you for coming on. I want to give you the floor to say anything that you want to say right off the top.
I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to getting into this.
Absolutely. So obviously, we talked about you went to WA. Just talk about a little bit about you're growing up as a kid from that small part of Machias where WA is, and I mean obviously it's great athletes have come through WA before, but you're trying to set your path. So just talk a little bit about growing up in that area and what it means to you to obviously play for that school.
Yeah, so I don't live in Machias. I live in Robinson, which is about 10, 15 minutes outside of Calais. So I grew up playing Little League in Calais Little League, and I went to middle school in Calais, and I went to WA for my freshman year, and that's basically it. I mean, I started here and just kind of ended up over there. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So obviously, growing up in that little area, I mean, the down east area is a big part of Maine, right? And I mean, a lot of fans as well. I mean, teams really have a lot of support in that area because of the
Yeah.
fans. You guys obviously have been very good last year. I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but last year you guys fell just short of being right there with a chance to win it all. And uh, so obviously looking to do that again. But let's get right into it. So obviously, like I said, last season you guys fell just short that regional title, lost to Bucksport. A great team. They have a storied program as well. What exactly do you remember about that game, and how does that game kind of give you guys an extra kick for this year?
It was a tough loss, especially saying we won twice during the regular season. But I mean, that night we just didn't play. We just didn't play Bucksport to the best of our abilities, and honestly, we can't wait to play them again. I mean, we're ready for it this season, I believe.
So obviously, like you said, that game with Bucksport, obviously you guys fell a little bit short. What what was the difference between the two times you guys played them in the regular season that then happened when you got to the postseason and fell just short?
It was a pretty it was a rough environment going into it. Like you said, even Bucksport has great support from their fans. They're very strong community, and they had the whole community there. It was very loud. We had a 2-hour rain delay going into the game, but like I said, they were just a better team that night, and we fell short.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, for someone who you guys have are a very young team, which again we'll also talk about that as well. But a young team, so you guys really had the chance to be there and get that experience. Obviously, you can come a chance with a better chance this year. What does that mean to you? I mean, obviously, you lose in such a way like that to be right there and just fall just short. What does that mean for this season for you guys, mentality wise?
Um, Mentality, we always have this saying, it's kind of a mantra for us this year. It's always to win our last game. It's kind of been our thing since I've been around, and our goal is to always win our last game.
Uh, I mean, it's a great thing to have, right? It's the idea of like whatever that last game may be, right? You want to win it, whether it be this state game is the hope, obviously. Uh, but
Yes.
sometimes obviously things go awry, but you hope that it's the title game. Okay. Also,
Yes.
we gotta say also. I mean, you're a commit to UMaine, obviously, which obviously means that you're going to come with some pretty solid stats. I looked at it from last year. Obviously, you led the team in batting average, hits, RBIs, doubles, homers, slugging percentage. All of it was to you. What was your mentality as just a sophomore to dominate and lead your team as far as you did? Because offensively, you were kind of the lead guy in a lot of ways for a team that was right there, like we talked about, just as a sophomore.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with my preparation. I mean, I've been doing the same thing since I was probably this tall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's just consistency. Like I try to do 100, 100 to 200 cuts every day all year round. I mean, it's just being consistent and knowing what your body's saying to you and just being present almost. Like you have to be in the moment and be ready for the moment.
And were you the kid who always played baseball growing up? Was that always a part of your life for as long as you can remember, or was it like a later blooming type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing baseball since I think I went a little t-ball when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I
Yeah,
mean, it's something like I don't remember having a life without. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that does a lot for you. It certainly instills it into you, right? You get the mentality of like, okay, this is what I do. Like this is I just do this
Yeah.
every day. It never became like a like I can imagine it never became like an issue for you to be like, okay, I mean, obviously there's days where you're like, I don't really want to go up and get 200 swings in, but it's part of you, so you do it just like naturally. I have to
Yeah.
assume at this point. But we'll also talk about last year's team. Like I said, was wicked young. You led them on the hitting side as a sophomore, but also on the pitching side, Trevor dominated on the mound as a freshman. So
Yeah.
you guys in tandem on two sides of the ball were just dominating. What can you say about the experience that you guys gained from a game like that and a season like that as young players that will help you and obviously your junior year and his sophomore?
So when I was a freshman, we lost in the second round. And last year we lost in the third round, obviously, in our regional final game. And I think it's just the experience of hopefully we get over that hump this year and getting into that fourth game, and then we don't lose that, and we get to the fourth game, and then we finally, you know, click, we'll say. I mean, baseball's streaky. Like we all know that that's just the way it is. But I feel like we've had the preparation um coming in off that loss, playing during the summer, the fall, and then we've had that preparation going in the winter that we're all ready. I mean, Trevor's ready. I mean, the team's ready.
Do you guys play a lot of summer ball together, like as a team, or are you guys kind of like more broken up into different places? I know obviously like there's Sluggers and there's Motor City and all these travel baseball teams, but do you guys try and stay like closer together with that kind of stuff?
So we have five guys that I think play travel. I mean, we try to get one or two games in every year, but Trevor went back to Texas to play because he's originally from Texas, so he went to Texas to play this summer. I played for Southern Maine River Rats this summer, and we had another kid on the team named David Gardner. He played for Sting this summer, and then we have a couple more guys that are going to play more travel baseball this upcoming summer.
Yeah, and how was the experience of travel baseball for you? Obviously, in a setting that it's kind of like it's a different setting, right? It's a lot different than like the school ball. It becomes more of a like a love for the game and really competing at a high level against high level competition.
It's almost like a uh, I should say it's more like a job, but like you wake up, you're 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. baseball from Monday to Friday. I mean, we have games that start, we have tournaments that start Monday and they might not end until next Tuesday. But it's what it's all about. I mean, there's nothing greater than that. But it's a completely different animal, especially say from Maine high school baseball standpoint. Like when you get down to the Boston area, Georgia, Texas, those areas, it's a different animal.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, it gives you the experience. I mean, a lot of that you come back and you kind of go, oh, I can hit main baseball pitching when I've been seeing these Texas kids who are throwing 90s. Like it's definitely a different animal. I can imagine. I mean, I never played travel baseball myself, but I played high school baseball and kind of like getting that chance to pull out of high school for a second and play against higher competition it's an interesting experience when you get to see the other competition that's out there to offer, and it makes you work harder for sure.
For sure. For sure.
What did you learn personally about yourself last year? Not necessarily about it could be baseball or it could be you as a person through baseball, but I mean a lot happened in that year of baseball, and then you again went and did travel baseball as well. What did you learn about yourself as a player, but also as a person?
I think this year, especially with the travel aspect, baseball is a very mentally challenging sport, especially once you get into that higher level. And it's one of those things just to, sometimes you just gotta sit back, relax, and trust on your training and experience and stuff like that. And I've kind of caught that earlier in the summer, and I finished the summer pretty strong. But what I've learned, honestly, is just, to go out there and have fun. I mean, you just gotta just not have that restlessness. Like, you just have to relax, go out and just play the game. Like, you can't worry about everything, all the dominoes will fall later. I mean, it's just something you just have to, like I said earlier, you got to be present, and be relaxed, and be having fun.
Yeah, and how does the prep change for you? I mean, obviously your day to day has to change when you go play the summer ball that you played and then come back. I mean, the prep's got to look a little bit different for you, right?
Um, believe it or not, it's not really that different. I mean, the only thing that'd be that different would be like maybe speeds off machine and stuff, but other than that, the preparation stays the same. I mean, we just want to, like I said, stay consistent and fall back on what you do.
How do you? You said you take 100 to 200 cuts a day. What is that? What do those at bats look like for you? Are you working like some of it on working counts and fouling off pitches, or is it some like fastball work and then some off speed work? Like, what's that look like for you?
So usually we do, it's like four stations usually. So the first one we start off, it's like a warm up, and you're just hitting like those little like golf size balls. They're like that big, and you just try and my thought is just to hit them to the top left side of the cage. And then after that, we go to normal baseballs. My father, he'll throw me like probably 50 or so, just like batting practice baseballs, basically. And then you move to machine, you'll go 50 fastballs and then 50 curveballs, 25 from each side. And then some days, like Saturdays and Sundays, we'll do that two times a day.
So you're getting a lot of work. Do you have a cage at home as well, or do you get to go to the
Yeah.
field?
So we have a cage just in the backyard, and it's pretty sweet. I'm very grateful to have it. And I honestly owe a lot to my parents for building that and making making my dream really be possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, setting you up for a good place in this season, which we got to talk about that too. I mean, obviously, a big season coming up for you guys, like we said, coming off of being just short. This season doesn't get much easier for you guys. You guys start the year with a stretch where you play Mount View in a doubleheader, you play Holton in the opener, you play MDI on the road, and then your home opener against the only team that you guys lost to outside the regional title game in Foxcroft. So, a really tough start to the year for you guys, but that's got to kind of prepare you at least a little bit for the rest of the season, right?
I mean, we're excited for it. I mean, it's really vital that we hit the ground running, but I'm extremely confident in our guys that will get the job done, and we should win I'd say probably it's what 6 games,
Yep.
6 game stretch you're talking about.
Yep.
I'm pretty confident that we'll win at least five of those games. But we just like I said, we got to fall back on our training. We have a lot of young guys that will, even younger guys than what we are already, that have improved a lot and will have big roles this season. But most importantly, it's we got to come off and hit the ball. I mean, can't win if you don't hit.
100%.
So
Yeah. But I mean, especially when it comes to Maine High School basketball, right? Especially as you get deeper into the season and then into the playoffs and
yeah.
such, that everybody's got an ace, right? And most people have a good number too. And so being able to hit is huge because, you know, you got to win a game where the other ace is on the mound and your ace is on the mound. They're battling against each other. Someone's got to squeak out a run. I mean, hitting at the end of the day is going to be the biggest thing when it comes to a playoff setting because pitching is gonna kind of equal out in a lot of ways when you get to the postseason. What's the message been for you guys at the beginning of the season, and then obviously trying to get on the road to a state championship? What's coaches been saying? What's been the mantra? I mean, we talked about a little bit earlier what the mantra might be, but what's the consistent things the coach is saying to you guys early?
Like I said, we talked about the mantra earlier. It's win our last game. We've kind of tried to we've started to fumble around the idea of having like a dirtbag style of play, like the big red machine from the Reds, and then
Yep.
like what it was early '70s maybe
Yes. Yeah.
something like that.
Yes. Yep.
And so, I mean, we just want to be that gritty team that just doesn't, we just don't go away. Like we're always right there. We're always bugging you. It's just our kind of our thing is just to always, stay at you. Like we're kind of the team that kind of, gnaws at your ankle. We're there.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed when I was looking at the stats for last year too. You guys seem to steal a ton of bags as well. Like you guys are
Yeah.
very active on the base pass. Seems to be very aggressive on the base pass. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Being aggressive in every facet is kind of you guys' way of doing things.
Hmm. Yes.
So, I obviously another thing, like you said, in these players getting better as well. But it's going to help on this road to getting to a championship. Who do you think is taking the biggest step on the team? And maybe it's someone who's already notable, who's gotten even better. I mean, could be yourself even. But who do you think is taking the biggest step from where they were last year that's going to help you guys get to a championship?
James Welch. We had he's starting shortstop. He's our leadoff guy, and we have a number two role that needs to be filled pretty well with the pitching spot, and I'm confident to say he will replace that even better. James is gonna hit the ball. I mean, he's put in immense hours this offseason, and I just know he's due for a big season because last season I knew he was kind of disappointed about it, and I think he's really gonna hit the ground running, and he's probably just as good as our number one with Trevor.
Yeah. What does that say? I mean, about the want to inside you guys' locker room. I mean, or inside the clubhouse. You guys just it seems that at least the way you talk about it is that everyone wants to get better. I mean, where does that come from?
I think it comes from a lot of us being younger. Like, I know over there they've had historically pretty good teams for the last couple of years. I mean, there's James, um he's been around WA baseball for 6 years now, I think. He's been around there for a long time and he's seen all these players. I'm just talking with James, like he's seen these players improve and I know he wants to get better and we all but a lot of it has to do with our loss last year. I don't think our guys would have been practicing as hard. I know we would have been practicing hard. It's just I don't know if we would have been practicing as hard if we didn't fall short. But the want to get better is the competition. We kind of strive as a group off of competition, and we all compete against each other to get better. I mean, we've had a JV team for a couple years now, so I know there's a lot of freshmen and sophomore fighting for a couple spots, and it's always just to get kind of better than one another. I mean, I don't like we all still love each other, but it's like it's we still want to be great, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it says something about you guys as people too, right? That as a collective, you guys kind of all strive to be great in your own way, whatever that way may look. You know, if it's stealing 30 bags in the year or hitting a bunch of doubles or whatever it may be, it sounds like everybody has kind of bought into whatever it takes to win, which is not always the case. There's always that super old and cliche coach saying that you learn more from your losses than you do your wins, right? And I mean, but it's true, right? You lose a game like that, and it tells you more about you as a person and you as a team than a win ever could.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Obviously, we talk a little bit about the team and who's taking big steps, but this year's team obviously going to be different year to year, no matter what. But what is your favorite thing about this year's team? I mean, we talk about the want to, we talk about how everybody's gonna how young you guys are, how hungry you guys are. But what's your favorite thing about this year's team?
My favorite team about this year's team is grit. I mean, we're going to be a very gritty team. I mean, like, we love working at bats. We love working deep counts. We love stealing bags. We love, just getting in the dirt and having fun. I mean, that's just kind of what we've done. It's what we're good at. I mean, and like you said earlier, just to be aggressive. I mean, being aggressive at the plate, being aggressive when you're pitching, being aggressive when you're fielding. I mean, always, always try. Don't just be aggressive. Basically, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like that the team likes to be gritty. I mean, there's always about something about a group of people who come together in a sports setting who want to be gritty that makes them fun to cheer for and like fun to watch. Like somebody who's willing to get in the dirt, get dirty, and make it work no matter what comes. It makes it you want to cheer for them a little bit, which I think is fun for sure. For this team, obviously as well, we talk about the grit and we talk about everything, right, that we've talked about so far. But what is something that people don't necessarily realize about your game? You said that you guys have been doing the hard work, doing the grit and grind and all this. But what is something that maybe people don't see coming that you guys are going to show this year?
I don't really know how to answer that because I feel like we're kind of expected to be pretty good this year.
100%. Yeah.
We kind of feel as if anything falling short of a state championship is kind of a failure for us as a team because we're so talented and we're so like aggressive and gritty. I mean, we there's nothing we really want more than to win a state championship this year.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think though, but it could be. I mean, you talked about it, right? Is that you're the guys maybe looking for a number two, and some people may not be aware that, like you said. you have a number two who may be as good as your number one. So I mean, certainly, I don't know if people expect you guys to have the depth that it sounds like you guys do as well.
Hmm. Yeah, we're very deep. We're a very deep team. Very deep.
And obviously, I mean, where do you guys have a senior on the roster who plays significant time at the moment?
So we will be graduating two seniors that play significant time. So one was our second baseman, and the other one was our third baseman.
Gotcha. So you guys are
But
still
it's
wicked young.
yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I mean, there's I don't think there's gonna be a point where we graduate like six that are gonna be playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just constantly feeding the system of young
Yeah,
talent over and over again. I mean, that helps too, right? You guys have the ability. I mean, you like you said, you have the JV team for a couple of years now of just like feeding. I mean, not a lot of places have the kids to have a JV team that can
yeah,
actually play games and then get better as time goes. I mean, that's a huge advantage to have as a team.
very. I mean, we're about a 400 person school, give or take, I believe. And we had 46 show up on our first day.
Wow,
Yeah. So
that's a
I mean
lot.
it kind of shows where we are in the community and kind of how like people want to be a part of the team. So it's not like it's something that is wanted. Like people want to get better. People want to play baseball for WS.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the down east mentality is kind of that way too. It's like that, you know, that want to. It feels like that's like gritty, gonna work it out type of behavior is very much so how that area of Maine is very much so that way, and it's obviously translated to baseball as well, which is obviously great for you guys because it makes you guys super deep and allows you to be in a really good position to play for a championship.
Yeah, for sure.
So we talked a lot about the team, but I got to ask you some personal questions about this season, and this season coming up at least. Where do you think you have improved the most this offseason? We talk about where other guys have, but where have you improved the most this offseason?
Um, Throughout the off season, I've tried to hit the weights very hard. I've gained about 14, 15 pounds this off season,
Holy.
and I've tried to get quicker in this process. I mean, you said you looked at the stolen bases. I probably had the least amount of stolen bases
Yeah,
on the team
I did. I
last
did
year.
notice that. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of figured. But the my goal was to get faster. My goal is to steal a couple bags. I'm not necessarily slow. It's just that we're so good that I honestly didn't get the opportunity to steal a lot of bags.
It's also hard
But
too when you're hitting a bunch of extra base hits because you're probably not stealing third.
yeah,
Most people aren't stealing third unless they're wicked fast.
yeah, I'm not steal third fast,
Yeah,
but I'm also excited to showcase like last year I played mostly first base, but we'll see kind of I think split time between that and the outfield this year as well.
gotcha. You gonna be in the corners, I assume.
Center.
Oh, center. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can move it then. So you've obviously gotten quite a
Yeah.
bit faster.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty quick.
Do you do like private training as well in the off season, or is it all just you at home doing weights, getting in the gym, working on speed stuff?
So it's like so I in the off season I worked out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Tuesday was like a speed oriented day. Wednesday, Thursday is like I would call it like Wednesday's more oriented to lower body, but it's like mostly everything. Like I try to do everything every day. So it's lower body oriented, but it still has everything included. Where Thursday's more of an upper body with still like we have like squats and deadlifts in there as well. And then Saturday and Sunday's the same thing as Wednesday and Thursday.
Gotcha. And that's all at your house, just doing it on your own. I mean, that obviously says something about, like you said, I mean, your parents are obviously bought into what you're doing too, because helping you out with that stuff is huge for you. I mean, you could do all of that stuff on your own, but it's hard to try and, it's not easy to do it by yourself at home. And having the support obviously does a lot for you to be able to improve like that.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for them.
What do you feel like, another personal question, but what do you feel like you have to prove this season personally?
Um,
I mean, not that there's a whole lot to prove since you're going to UMaine, but
I don't know if I like I don't think I necessarily like I'd like to prove together as a team. You know, I don't really like looking at stuff like that as personal. I've never really looked at stuff like that personally, but like It's stuff just to win. Like that's that's basically all I care about is winning and helping contribute my team to winning.
Yeah, which you've obviously done a very solid job of so far. Obviously, getting to the regional title game last year and doing what you did hitting wise got helped the team get there for sure. So, how did the recruitment with UMaine come about? Because I'm interested to hear this side of things as well. Because obviously, you have to think about now, and you want to win a championship now. But there's also a future that's coming not too far off that is huge. I mean, playing D1 baseball isn't easy. So, how did that recruitment and then the commitment itself come about with UMaine?
First of all, I can't say enough about Coach Derwin and the staff. I mean, he's a huge asset to the University of Maine system. I mean, he's a great coach. But like, just to kind of tell a story, I mean, so we went to the PBR Futures game, which is at Lake Point in Georgia. It's like top 1,500 players in the country. I played for Team Massachusetts along with Teddy Stevenson. He's the only other player from Maine that played with me there. And basically, how that worked is it ends the last week of July, and it follows up into August 1st, which is the opening recruitment day for that class that's down there, which would have been my class. So basically, August 1st, Coach Silver contacted me in the morning. We talked a little bit on the phone. He told me to come to the camp a couple weeks later just to see a little bit more. I mean, they were interested from before, but just to like basically see me again in person for what seems to be not the last time, but like this one more time.
Yeah,
But I didn't know this going into it, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
But I went, I did pretty good, and we went back and forth, and then we called 2 days later. He offered me over the phone, and honestly, I accepted within like 2 hours of talking to my family. I mean, it made the most sense for us, and it was one of my top target schools. I've wanted to go there since like I was probably 5, 6 years old because
Yeah,
we've all I've said this before in other interviews, but we've all wanted to like since we were this big play there. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
I went to the camp as a kid, and I loved it there. I mean, you spend a couple nights, and then you play baseball during the day. So it was a pretty sweet opportunity. And like I said, Coach Leroux was great throughout the process.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, what's better than one playing D1 baseball, having the chance to make a NCAA tournament because you're playing D1 baseball, but then you get to play it at home and you don't have to go very far. I mean, family can come watch you play. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. I mean, that's the dream, right?
Very grateful for it. It is definitely a dream come true.
And it's kind of like as of late, UMaine's kind of become like an MLB pipeline, which is interesting.
Yeah,
A
it
lot.
is very interesting. They've had quite a few guys come out of there the last couple of years with Jeremiah Jenkins last year, and then Quinn McDaniel the year prior. And then I know they had a pitcher a couple of years ago. I don't know his name, but I know he's doing pretty well, and he might make the team for the Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, and you can go way back. Alex McKenney,
But yeah,
he pitched there, and obviously he had some injury issues once he got to the major or to the pro level. But still, I mean, you're at the pro level as a kid from Maine. I mean, Maine's kind of become not just within the college scene, but as a high school scene as well. I mean, look at how many high school kids from Maine. I mean, Vanderbilt's got two high school kids from Maine who played in
yep.
Southern Maine, playing at Vanderbilt, both
They
dominating for.
graduated one as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Owen. I mean,
Yes, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
just Maine has become a baseball state, and I don't think a whole lot of people realize how much of a baseball
no,
state it has become.
they have no idea. People really don't know. I mean, I think in my class already, there's probably 6 or 7 Division I commits. I mean, there's talent in Maine, and I mean, it's you just gotta look into it. I mean, it's just kind of something you got to realize.
100%. I mean, I think it also it's weird because like I think because of the history of Maine as a whole, that people think basketball is the sport because
Yeah,
of the tournament, and that's been so big for so long, and everything else has kind of got pushed underneath the rug, and nobody really pays attention to it. But baseball, I mean, it's doing wonders right now. Right now, I mean, like we said, look at all the people who are playing at high levels and going on to play at the pro level. It's just
hmm
it's incredible to see, and I think it needs more. more recognition for what the kids are doing around here.
Right.
Obviously, we just said you were excited about going to UMaine, getting to play Division 1 baseball as well. But is there anything else that's exciting about this whole thing when it comes to the next level? Is it just that you get to play against better competition? Is it that you get to play for UMaine? What's necessarily the most exciting thing for you?
The most exciting thing is to be part of that program. I mean, historically, it's a great program. And I should say they've struggled the last couple of years. I mean, they won the American East title 2 years ago. They're starting off pretty good this year. I'm pretty sure they're second or third in the American East right now. But it's just that I'm most excited to compete at a high level. I mean, we get to compete for an American East championship, and I think it's of course, it's very feasible within the next couple of years. I mean, they have a good chance this year, and they'll have a good chance the next year and the year after. They're always contenders for it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like you said, that does says a lot about Coach over there too, because what he's done for that program has been amazing. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking of Coach and the teammates that you will in a couple of years be very well acquainted with, have you been able to connect with any of the teammates? Obviously, we talked about meeting Coach, obviously, uh, but with the new teammates, have you been able to connect with any of them yet?
So I've connected with not many of the current players because most of them will graduate by the time I get there. But I know a couple from travel ball, like Caleb. Caleb used to play. I used to play with Caleb not last fall, but the fall prior. He was going into his senior year, I believe, and I was going into my freshman year, something like that. I can't
Yeah,
remember how it worked,
yeah,
but I obviously know Caleb, and I've met a couple of the other 26 commits via social media, and I've
yeah.
talked to them a little bit in person at tournaments and stuff.
Do you have any plans to go see them play this year at all?
I definitely would like to see them go play this year. It's just a matter of finding the time now
Yeah,
that the
you're
season
busy.
starts. We were trying to get out before, but we were going to the New Jersey Institute
Yes,
Tech series that got moved to New Jersey, but
yes.
we were going to go watch that, but obviously it got moved due to weather.
Yeah, that was
But
stupid.
I would like to I'd like to go see them play for sure.
What do you think the best version of yourself looks like at the next level?
The best version of myself, honestly, is just to be a good teammate, like be a role model for the people of Maine, and just show hard work and dedication to the program, and do whatever's asked of me, and then do some more.
And as a kid from Maine, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Expound, if you can, upon being able to play for your hometown D1 school as a kid from Maine who has done it here, worked on it here, and then gets to go have the chance to etch your name not only in WA history in the next 2 years, but in UMaine history as well.
I mean it's a great opportunity for sure. I mean it's kind of something I haven't really wrapped my head around until you asked me that question. But I think it's just kind of one of those things. I'm just going to take one step at a time, and just kind of not necessarily go with the flow, but plan for the future, and just kind of, like I said, take the next 2 years to high school, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, and is the end goal for you just college, or do you have bigger aspirations if we think if we go out of what's happening currently in your life and try to look forward to like potentially pro ball? Is that what you hope one day comes as pro ball?
Yeah, I mean that's been the goal since I've been like 5, 6, watching pro baseball players play. But it's just like I said, I'd like to take it one step at a time, and obviously I'll play pro baseball if the opportunity presents itself.
I didn't ask this question. I didn't put it in the initial one, but it's come to my mind now. Um, Obviously, we've talked about a lot about WA and going to UMaine and all of this stuff. And but I used to ask this question way back when I first started the podcast before Athletes First Media was up and running. Uh, but if you had to shout out a couple of people for what they've done in your life to get you to this point, who is it and why?
Mom and dad, obviously. I mean, they've made grave sacrifices for me. I mean, sacrificing work just to make my games, and just being there and supporting for me. And obviously my coaches and my teammates. I mean, I've had numerous coaches and teammates along the ways, and they've always helped me. I mean, I don't really it might be worth it, but you never really have a coach or a teammate that really wants to not see you succeed. And that's kind of a good thing to have. You know, you got to have a good support group. And I feel like I definitely have that inner circle of support led by my parents.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and again, it's like you said, super important to have that inner circle who's really supporting you the whole way and is willing to sacrifice for you. I mean, that's it's huge, and it
Hmm.
becomes even bigger as you get further and further along in life, but also in sports as well. But yeah, so now we're gonna move on to the last segment, and then I'll let you get out of here because you're a busy man. You got a lot of things to do. Uh,
School in the morning.
yes, that yes, uh, and I have work, so I we're both on a schedule. Um, so I'll ask a couple of just fun questions to end it on a lighthearted note. We
Right.
talked a lot about a lot of serious things and very thought out questions, and I just want to have a little bit of fun at the end of this one. So, what's the favorite baseball memory in your life, whether it happened to you or it happened to somebody else? Something that you remember from baseball that sticks out pretty heavily for you.
So obviously I was about 12 years old when COVID hit. I had a short 12-year-old um little league season. So we have this field in Robinson. It doesn't have a fence. It's kind of like a sandlot kind of deal. It used to be an old like men's softball field, and there's no men's softball play there anymore. So me and my dad when I was younger, we always go down there and hit, because I mean everyone likes to watch the ball fly. So like I always used to beg and go down there just to watch the ball go, because after 8 months in the cage, you just want to get out there. But
100%.
coming off of COVID, obviously we didn't really get out a whole lot, but I remember I'd grown quite a bit and we got out there and it was kind of like we got to hitting obviously and then like we were just losing baseball after baseball after baseball. I mean, even if it was on the ground. And that was kind of like a realization that it's something I could be like really, really good at. Because I mean, I was lifting going into this and like I came out of it as uh, like I probably wasn't the best player coming into COVID, but I was one of the best coming out of it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a weird blessing in disguise, honestly, the COVID thing. It's like because it kind of got me the opportunity to grow and get stronger and faster and stuff. But I remember getting in the car after dad. We probably had 3, 4 baseballs left after about 25 minutes, and he's just like, we can't come back here anymore." And I was kind of upset, but that's probably one of my favorite baseball memories I have.
You got to the point where there was no chasing the baseballs; they were gone.
Yeah, I mean it's the field is surrounded by like tree line and
But
it's
yeah,
all like overgrown. So like I even balls that were on the ground were just rolling out there and it just wasn't worth it.
yeah, no, I feel that. I could never hit it that far necessarily, no matter if it was on the ground or in the air. I was never a very power hitter, but oh man, I just remember watching some of the people who I've like played with or coached once I started coaching. It's just some of those dudes hit it so far. You're like, oh yeah, no, okay, he's good. That's a little bit different. Um, Another little fun question: who's your favorite player growing up, and then who's your favorite team as well? Because I gotta ask that: who's the favorite team, and then who's your favorite player?
To begin with, I was big Cody Bellinger kid.
Really?
The 2019 MVP race, like it's the only one I can really remember
Yeah.
between him and Christian Yelich in 2019. I mean, I was talking to my mom about this question earlier, and I'm like, you remember when you used to get mad at me because they played on the West Coast and I was up at like what?
1
It
a.m.
probably would have been like, yeah, finishing the game.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I remember yelling at you because I used to get excited because I think Cody Bellinger hit like almost 50 home runs that
Yeah,
year.
he went
And
nuts.
I used to put my hands up and scream. It was great. Like he was by far watching that 2019 Dodgers team, and he was by far my favorite player, and he still kind of is, even though he's on the Yankees. But
Yeah. Gross.
I
Yeah.
kind of have, he kind of has a place in my heart.
Fair. And so I assume that the favorite team is the Red Sox then.
Yeah, the favorite team's always been the Red Sox.
I loved Cody Bellinger. but I always hated the Dodgers, so it was always a hard
Yeah, it was
relationship
tough.
because it was
Yeah,
like, oh man, the Dodgers, I just hate them. And then obviously Red Sox ended up facing them, and it was like, okay, I, we beat him. I'm okay with liking him now because
right.
who cares?
Yeah, Cody Bellinger was by far my favorite. I always liked Bryce Harper too when I was younger. When I was really young, I really liked Bryce Harper. It was like ages like probably 5 to 11, I'd say it was probably Bryce Harper, and then from like 11 to like 13 was Cody Bellinger.
Fair. I mean, Bryce Harper, another great one to have. Two like beautiful lefty swings as well. I mean, just pure lefty swings on those two guys is unfair.
Yeah.
Speaking of swings, that was a good segue. I didn't even mean to do that. How do you, who do you model your swing after? Is there anyone that you model your swing after?
Not really. I mean, me and my dad, we usually do like research on Barry Bonds, Ted Williams, kind of the old school guys, but like I wouldn't necessarily say there's anyone that I model my swing after. It's kind of a load, get down early, and then explode kind of thing. It's just, I mean, if I was to compare it to anybody like that plays baseball right now, like I think a pretty good comparison to like a swing like archetype would probably be like a Jaron Duran almost, where he kind of has that high leg kick, gets down early on the toe, and then lands his heel and goes. That's kind of what I do.
Gotcha. Are you from the left side?
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
lefty righty.
that's what I thought. Okay, I was just making sure that because it's also become a pattern now that you keep liking the lefty guys as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And the reason I asked that question is because when I was in high school, and not that you care, but I'm going to share this story anyways. Couldn't the first year I played, I couldn't hit a baseball to save my life. I was fast and I was a really good fielder, but I could not hit for power whatsoever. And then in that summer, I went out and was like, okay, what swing's going to help me figure this out? Because I'm not getting any power. I saw Raffy Devers play, and I was like,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna try that. And so I did like the left leg way behind, and then step into it and swing, and it worked. So I had to ask the question because
Oh yeah.
I was like, is there one that worked for you? But I mean, it makes sense. Jaron Duran. I mean, obviously, he's been pretty dang good the past couple of years. So good swing to
Hmm.
not only have close to an archetype of.
Yeah.
Um, on the ilk of being talking about great players like we are, who is the best player that you've played with? And then who is the best player you've played against?
So I've played with this kid. He's from Washington State. It's actually kind of funny. It kind of shows you how small the baseball world is. But I played with him in 2020 in Arizona, and I played with him again this fall in Texas.
Oh,
And
wow.
his name's Gabriel Coltman, and he is committed to South Carolina, upstate, I believe.
Dang. Yeah.
It's a very interesting commit because I think he's a really, really fucking good ball
Yeah.
player. Like he's on. If you look him up, he's top 100 on draft boards and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even end up on his um to South Carolina upstate. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a stud,
Gets
and I
drafted
mean, I
beforehand.
think yeah, I think he gets drafted out of high school. He's probably the best player I've played with.
Wow. That is quite something. I mean, obviously tells you like the fact that you're playing against players like that too, and the experience that you're getting from that's got to be insane. But
Yeah.
who's the best player you played against?
So I want to kind of bend the rules here because this kid
Okay.
was phenomenal.
Okay.
So obviously we're down in Georgia. It's top 12 kids from every state, period. And obviously us, we were New England, so it was New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts. That was who my team was. And then I went to go watch Team Georgia because I was waiting for our night game anyway. Oh, there's this kid named Keon Johnson. So I think he's one of the top ranked players in the country as of 2026. I don't think he's committed yet, but he is phenomenal. I mean, he hit a ball like he's probably like 6 foot, maybe like 180. And I mean, he literally hit a ball probably 430 backside. I mean, it was
Gosh.
just, it was insanity power. I mean, there's a video on it online. You'll find it pretty easy if you just look up Keon Johnson, PBR Futures Game home run. And I mean, he just smacked it backside to right field. And I've never seen a player do that before. And it's just like, I watched pro baseball. I've never seen that. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just like, it was it was a very eye-opening experience, and he's definitely the best player I've played against because technically we were in the same tournament, but we just never made it that far.
That works for me. I mean, that's gotta be
Yeah.
weird though, right? That's gotta be a little bit surreal. Seeing like
Yeah.
being like
He's different.
this
He's
is,
different.
but like kind of like that's the level that you get to play at. So like that means you're not far off that, which has got to be a little bit
Yeah.
surreal.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, you obviously don't. You seem like the type of guy who wouldn't even think about the fact that you're anywhere near that stratosphere.
Not really. I kind of take it day by day.
Yeah, but I mean that's what that means ultimately, right? Is that you're good enough to be in a tournament against guys like that, and like you said, you played in tournaments where some of the best recruits in the nation are playing at. I mean that obviously means something, but
Yeah.
for you, you just want to win, which is very admirable about and says a lot about you as a person as well. That you just want to win and you don't really care about all the other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. I mean, good stuff comes from winning, so why not win?
This is very true. All right, that is all the questions I have. I do always give the floor back to my guest to say whatever you want to say. If there's anything else you want to talk about, if there's somebody you want to shout out, if you want to plug, what games you got coming up or what's happening in your life or social medias. If you want to shout out your social media, do whatever you want to do. But it's your time to say whatever you want to say here at the end.
I'm all set. I just appreciate you having me on, and I had a good time tonight.
Absolutely, me too as well. And I'm hoping you're the first of many to really get this thing going and get a lot of people the opportunity, especially in baseball as well. We're mixing it up. After you, I've got a couple of high school basketball and then college basketball people coming on, and then wrapping it back around at the end of the month with a baseball player that plays at Bangor Christian who's committed down to SMCC.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. It's going to be a good time. Mix it up, keep it interesting, and yeah, I'm very thankful that you came on and were willing to do it. I was unsure because you never know. Some kids don't like to come on the mic and talk about things, but I appreciate you being willing to have the conversation.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on.
So we just want to thank you guys again for watching this. Obviously, like and subscribe, share the podcast as much as you can, as well as the media page as well. We just want to thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.